new blood coming in this weekend, as you preluded with Ciryl Gane is making his return to the ring, to the cage. For those who haven't seen him, for you boxing fans, just imagine what if Anthony Joshua did MMA? That's who this guy is. Phenomenal striking. Looks like a superhero.
He looks like Anthony Joshua. He looks a lot like Anthony Joshua.
Dude, it's crazy. And he's going against Rosenstrike, a guy who has phenomenal power, a phenomenal athlete, not really the best technique, even though he's a kickboxer. I feel like this is another one of those new blood rising versus the old veteran, which even do you call Rosenstrike a veteran? I feel like he's still kind of on the new side himself.
I feel like they view Gane as the guy, though. That's who they think is going to win, and that's who they want to win. Rosenstrike, he's done fine. He's very durable, I think. He hits hard enough, but at the same time, he's limited, right? He's another one of these cats at heavyweight who's just super limited. And that's really, I feel like, one of the last things you could say about Ciryl Gane is that his heavyweight striking is limited.
Yeah.
He flows really well. He has beautiful combination work. He kicks well to both sides. He uses hands. He knocked out Dos Santos with a beautiful elbow. He's won by submission in the UFC by a heel hook. I don't think we're going to see that in this fight. He's got good size, right? He doesn't gas out that we've seen. Gane looks like the real deal. I've been pushing this guy since the first time I saw him as somebody everybody should be watching out for.
Love it for sight.
He very well, man, I love him. I absolutely do. 7-0.
Dana loves him even more.
Bro, 7-0, and this kid's something. He's going to be top 5 in no time, and I think he's going to be top 5 after he wins this fight.
Can you imagine the poster Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane? That sells itself.
It's a big one. See, we say that, but what if Derek Lewis? Like, you remember Derek Lewis and Ngannou? One of the worst
fights ever.
One of the worst fights of all time. And nobody's clamoring for a rematch. If you haven't seen it, I think combined there's 30 punches thrown in 15 minutes. That was rough. That was rough times, Daddy. Man, I really feel like Ciryl Gane may end up being like almost like an Adesanya, where he comes in and his striking is so good that it's like, who the fuck is dealing with this? You know what I mean? We've never had to. Is he going to be like this Pedro Hizzo type who just comes in and puts giant dents in everybody's leg?
Can you imagine Gane versus John Jones? I don't think John does that fight.
I don't think John would love to take that fight. Here's what I want to know about John Jones coming up to heavyweight. How is his back? Because I know that he's had a lot of rumored back problems. And some of those can be for staying down in weight, by the way. If you don't come up in weight, your body can start to, not really agree with that and get fucked up long term. But is his back going to be able to let him wrestle? Because if not, it's a very different fight with Ciryl Gane, right? Like that, people are talking about his fight with Adesanya. Well, it's like, is he going to be able to take him down? Because if he can, then it's a big issue. Because I don't think he was able to wrestle with Thiago Santos the way people assume that he was able to, and I don't think he was able to wrestle with Dominic Reyes.
I was going to say Dominic Reyes. That's a great example of how he's kind of slowed down a bit.
Even in those even in the last round when Dom can barely stand up, John isn't shooting. And John would love to get on top of motherfuckers. And that's where he's the best. That's where he got the nickname Bones, is being on top of dudes and ground and pounding the fuck out of them. You take a tired guy, you put him on his back, he's twice as tired because now he has to think about just getting the fuck up. There's nowhere he's safe. You know what I mean? Unless he could just hold close guard or some random bullshit like that. I wonder about that for John. If he's not able to wrestle, no way he fights Ciryl Gane. No way he wants to fight Ciryl like that. Let us
know in the comment section what you think about Ciryl Gane, but that's going to be a phenomenal fight. I'm highly looking forward to see how he performs because this is his first step-up fight. He's fought some good. I mean, Dos Santos a little bit past his prime, but Royce, you can say he's in his prime.
No, I think you're right.
I think this is a fantastic fight. Any other fight on this card that you're really looking forward to? Because it seemed kind of dry for me.
Okay, looking up and down it, I do like that I'm seeing Ankalaev again. He's fighting Nikita Krylov. I do expect Ankalaev to win. This kid is underrated. The Russian.
Oh, yes.
I don't know anything about him outside of the cage, to be honest. I'm trying to think of things I can pepper in, but his counterboxing is just so fucking beautiful. His counterboxing's real good. and I'm really into it. Looking up and down it, Angela Hill is back. That's pretty good. Thiago Moises versus Alex Hernandez in the prelims. The main event prelim is very good.
That's a good fight.
Yes. Kuramagomedov versus Alex Cowboy Oliveira. Kuramagomedov was, I believe, featured on the Contender Series, but not signed. And he's now taking a 1 week, like, short notice fight. He won on the Contender Series, but he didn't get signed. And so I think he's probably coming in pretty hungry for this. And Alex Oliveira, I very much believe, is fighting for his job. So I could see that being a really like a motherfucker of a fight between those two.
It's funny. I'm looking at the card on Wikipedia. I don't see Cowboy Oliveira on here. Do you know that fight?
His original opponent, Randy Brown, fell out like 2 days ago, and just today it got announced that he's facing Kuramagomedov.
Got it. Okay. That
Ramazan Kuramagomedov. Man, we were supposed to see fucking homeboy Heoni Barcelos on this card. The Puerto Rican cat who was just like crushing folks.
Dude, yeah.
Versus Jimmy Rivera is on this card. That's your people's main event.
Yeah, that's a good main event there. That's a good ass fight.
Main event. Pedro Munoz and Jimmy Rivera, two of the toughest guys at 135. Pedro Munoz, I believe his last fight was the 5-round Frankie Edgar war. Split decision. A lot of people thought that Pedro deserved the win there, but it is what it is. Jimmy Rivera hits real strong, grapples pretty well. Pedro Munoz, great with the hooks, great with the leg kicks, grapples pretty well. These two are pretty well-matched guys who are in the bottom half of that top 10 at 135, rather.
Damn, they're the bottom. I remember one time people thought Jimmy was the man. Like, he was like the next contender.
Well, Jimmy's still the man. 135 is just really fucking tough right now. You know what I mean?
In boxing and MMA, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, that weight class in both sports is just crushing right now.
They're both having a youth movement, right? We pointed out that there's some similarities between those two, and there's some similarities between how Russians kind of seem to be taking over, and Eastern Europeans seem to be taking over that like 205 cruiserweight kind of situation, right? Or at least
that's that old Eddie Murphy joke, right? No, Chris Rock joke about like the more poverty, the more fighters come out of that place.
So, man, straight up. It's not a fucking. It's a joke based off some true shit.
Man, we also have some boxing this weekend that's going to be pretty dope.
Bro, we also have some kickboxing. We're not even going to talk about this, but I'm just going to say it. There's a kickboxing card that One FC is putting on. I think there might be an MMA fight or two on it. If y'all get a chance to watch Elias Anahachi, do it. If y'all get a chance to watch Giorgio Petrosian, absolutely you should do it. Giorgio Petrosian is one of the best. He's such a beast. I love that dude. Oh, and Rod Tang is fighting. Holy shit, there's a lot of good names on this card. Rod Tang. He's a very good Thai fighter from Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, if you hear a Thailand guy who's just referred to by one name, like Super Lek or Rod Tang or, one of these guys, like he's fucking good.